Knicks Nation, today is Wednesday, the 29th day of May, 2024, and I hope you're all safe and healthy today, and I hope your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders every day out here, sometimes risking their lives to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries of people, food, water, shelter, mail for our convenience. Double blessings upon the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that make the demands for these industries. Finally, double blessings upon the homeless, nearly 600,000 men, women, children, families, and veterans homeless in the United States of America. And there are millions of people around the world in similar or even worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. I want to talk today about Kyshawn George. Now, before we get started, I want to just clarify a couple of things. Somebody asked me a very good question. They asked, and I think it was Saucy, right? I think it was Saucy asked me the question. What he asked about a point guard, what makes, in my view, an NBA point guard coming out of college? That was an excellent question because in answering him, it helped me clarify in general what we need coming out of college. And now he was asking, and thank you for the question, Saucy. He was asking in general terms, but I am looking, number one, for the Knicks in particular. So a lot of people come at me, we got to draft this and look at that one, and they're not looking at what the Knicks need, nor do they understand what makes an NBA player. Number one, in terms of Kyshawn George, what gets me to even look at him as a possibility? What gets any scout to even consider him? He can score, okay? He's a three-level scorer. He can shoot the ball from all three levels, from the three-point line, from the two-point area, and at the foul line. He's an excellent scorer. Now, that was what gets somebody's attention. Just because a guy can score in college does not mean he can score in the league. This particular kid looks like he has the ability to score in the league. He has enough. Looks like between the second thing that gets my attention from him is his age. He's 20 years old. He'll be 21 in December. That's a guy you can develop for a couple of seasons if you wanted to. If you thought about him being a wing for you in the future, that's a guy that you would look at in a couple of seasons. Not now. He's not ready to play at the NBA level right now, but he has enough offensive skill to be able to be connected to the league and maybe develop. Now, particularly for the Knicks, there are two things that most of the people doing videos on these guys, and most of y'all coming at me in Knicks Nation, do not pay attention to, never. And I don't understand why. Maybe you're looking at too many of these big platforms pushing that clickbait. But you got to have a motor, and you got to be able to play defense if you're going to play for the New York Knicks. You will not get on the floor. You could score the lights out, but you will not get on the floor if you cannot defend. This is particularly true of Tom Thibodeau. Will you be able to, one, do you have the ability to stay in front of somebody on the NBA level? It's not easy. This is the league. Can you do that? Do you have the ability to study who you're going to be guarding and understand all their tendencies and take them away? This is the league. Do you have the ability to read his schemes, to understand what the schemes are so that when a Mitchell Robinson or Isaiah Hartenstein calls out defensive assignments, you know where you're supposed to be and you get there? This is the league. You got to be able to do these things. Now, there are some players that are so good at other things that they do that Tibbs fits them in. When Drew first came to the Knicks, he could not defend. He could not read a defense. He could not get to his spots on time. He had the physical ability to do, but did not have the mental capacity. But under Tibbs, he has become 1,000% better on defense. Is he all NBA defense? No. But his prowess at rebounding, strength, power, scoring, and speed is such that Tibbs will work with a guy like that. And now, of course, under Tibbs, he becomes a two-time All-NBA player and a three-time All-Star. So that is an exception. Tibbs don't make a lot of exceptions. And some of y'all still don't understand that. If you're going to get his attention, you got to be able to get on the floor and play defense. Can this kid do it? I ain't seen it yet. But he keeps fluctuating between late first and early second. If he drops into the second, as of today, Tankathon got him ranked 31st. If he drops into the second round, he could be a guy that the Knicks might decide we're going to take 2 years and see if we can develop him defensively. Now, this is where the private workouts with teams become very important. Yes, they go to the skills thing in the NBA, the pre-draft workouts and all that. I mean, in general, but they got to come to the Knicks, and the Knicks got to look at them particularly. Do they have the ability to eventually become good enough to get on the floor defensively? That's where it comes in. A lot of you guys look at just offense and you think, oh, but the Knicks got to draft him. Hell no. That's why I was telling some of you about Cam Thomas. Oh, yeah, he could score from anywhere on the floor. But he cannot yet play NBA level defense, and he would not get on the floor for Tom Thibodeau very long. Okay? You need guys that can play defense. You need guys that have motor. Josh Hart is Exhibit A. They have to have a motor. All the guys that are in the rotation for the Knicks have a motor, which means not only do they continually run, can they hustle up and down the floor, but more specifically, can they get to a place where they're doubling or show double team and yet sprint back to their man without getting beat? See, almost all the Knicks in the rotation can do this. Okay? They don't all do it consistently, but they do it. If you're a rookie, first of all, you ain't playing. Okay? Some of y'all still don't get that point either. You ain't playing for Tibbs, and it ain't Tibbs' fault. So you say, well, Tibbs can't coach. Y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. Otherwise, you'd be on the New York Knicks sideline. They're paying this man $7 million a year because he knows what the hell he's doing. Some of y'all don't get that yet. But you got to be able to get to your spot and get back to your man. I have seen Mitchell Robinson get up off the floor under the basket, get out to the three-point line and block a three-point shot. I have seen Hartenstein and Robinson double team at the three-point line and get back under the basket to defend anybody coming to the basket. You got to be able to do that. Okay? This is not negotiable. You have to. Can Kyshawn George do it? I ain't seen it. But I don't know. Maybe he can. But to get him in the second round might be worth looking at. See? Second round, not first. First round, as I said, Deron Holmes, Khalil Ware. Those are the two guys. They can do everything I just said. They're going to need time, but they can do everything I just said. Both of those kids. Okay? So we say, well, why we need a center? Well, this is the center thing is I love Jericho Sims. He's wearing orange and blue. I'm down with Jericho Sims. But Khalil Ware as a third string center on the Knicks for 2 years would be tremendous. Tremendous. And if he can develop, he'd force the Knicks into making decisions 2-3 years from now. Okay? And he can anchor, if he does, he can anchor a Tom Tibbs defense if Hartenstein is out or if Mitchell Robinson is out. Okay? And you wouldn't lose anything, especially when you got all the rest of the kids still there. So that's what we're looking at. So with Kyshawn George, tremendous shooter, 6'8", he got a 6'10" wingspan. He's got the physical attributes. Shoots 41. He shot 41% from three. Will probably shoot similar in the league. I think. See, not everybody. Again, I like to mention Jimmer Fredette. Guy could shoot the lights out in college. Could not shoot in the pros because he could not get his shot off in the NBA speed. I think this kid can. Okay, so he'll be able to shoot, but that's not going to keep you on the floor with Tom Thibodeau. You got to be able to defend because, again, defense wins championships. We are interested in the chip. We're not interested in buying the guy's jersey or putting his picture on our wall because he's our favorite guy. Can he help us win the chip? That's what I'm asking. Some of y'all still on the NBA 2K, my favorite guy on the wall tip from teenage years. I'm past that. I'm trying to get a chip here. Okay? So I'm looking at guys that can help us do that. And to get that on the Knicks, you better be able to play some defense. And like I said, one-on-one defense, team defense. Can you read defenses? Can you read your opponents? Will you study your opponents and be able to know what their weaknesses and their tendencies are in the league? See, in the league, you could do all that and still get beat. Look at TJ McConnell. Everybody in the world knows he's going to go to the right side of the court, mid-range. He still gets there. Guys are that good. But you got to make it difficult for him to get there. Okay? That's the whole point. See? And then every player in the league that's in the league has things like that. You know what's coming. You still can't stop it. But all you could do is try to make it very difficult for them to do that. Okay? And if you can't, don't even bother. So this kid has upside to be able to possibly get to that point. He's a good second round pick. I would not pick him in the first round. But second rounder, yes. Yes, I'd look at it because maybe he could do that. He's got the shooting. Can he get the defense? And this is the thing that some of y'all still don't understand either. Somebody told me, don't talk down to us. Get the hell off my channel if you don't like me the way I do my stuff. This is how I do. I teach. Next. When a guy gets, you're an average person. I'm an average person. So all of a sudden, you go from average person to millionaire. That's what happens in the league. You go from average person to millionaire. Okay? And usually you're under 23 and you're a millionaire. So a question that the organization has to find out without actually asking, because everybody's going to give the right answer. Will that person become lazy when they get paid? Will they back off and decide, I got my guaranteed money? I'm sure it happens. It happens a lot in the league. Okay? Some guys, when they get that money, they sign that big contract, you don't hardly see, they're not as available anymore. They don't want to pay through injury anymore. They're not as tough as they was when you first saw them. Because why? They got their money. Don't blame them, but I don't want that guy on my team. I want a guy that remains hungry. That's another attribute. This is why you look at guys and you test them for a couple of years to see. Because you're getting ready to invest a lot of money. You don't just take a shot. You don't just roll the dice. There's too much money involved. This ain't Monopoly money. This ain't Jerry Maguire. This is the league, and it's real. So, Kyshawn George, second round possibility for a future win. He could probably, if he ends up showing some motor and can play on defense, he can possibly play the 2 and the 3 for sure. He can do small ball 4 at 6'8". Okay, and that's a versatility you want. It would be a real gem, and this is again what the Knicks would have to decide in the 2 years of development he would get. Can he guard those positions? Can he guard 2, 3, and small ball 4? He's got the length. He's 6'8". He's got a 6'10" wingspan. Nice numbers there. But can he use them? That's the question, and that's what we need to find out. That's what if the Knicks decide to pick him in the second round. This is what you look at with all, it's like I said yesterday, second rounders are like Goodwill Hunting. You're looking for a deal. Guy that's not good enough really to get picked in the first round. Nobody wants to take that risk and that first round guaranteed money on him. But maybe you can find something in the second. Maybe you could develop something. Okay? This is Kyshawn George. So 20 years old, be 21 in December. He's a very good age for a 2-year development. Nice size, nice wingspan. Nice offensive game, pretty polished offensive game for a kid that age. But it probably can shoot in the league, but can he get on the floor? Is he tough? Can he play defense? Does he have the IQ and the willingness to learn Tom Thibodeau level, NBA level defense? These are things that we'd have to find out. These are things that the workout will tell them a lot, along with watching the film. And that's why, if you notice with the Knicks, and they do this with every player that they're looking at drafting, they will interview the high school coach. They will interview the college coach. They will interview people that worked out with him. They will interview the person itself. They will look at the film. They will go ahead and bring them in and test them mentally and physically. The Knicks do this very well. They've been doing it well, especially since Leon was in charge. But they was doing it well. Even I got to give Steve Mills and Scott Perry credit because they were doing the same thing when they ended up drafting Mitchell Robinson. So they're going to do that because Mitchell Robinson had a negative stigma on him because he left Western Kentucky and decided, I'm just going to work out for the league. And some people took that, you're not going to be on the plantation for master in the college. So what's wrong with you? That's what they do. But the Knicks made their own decision based on their thorough research of Mitchell Robinson, and he's turned out very well. So this is what they're going to do with everybody. If you're looking at Kyshawn George, they're going to be extremely diligent and thorough and see him, because those are very key questions. Does he have a motor? Will he work hard? Will he learn the defensive schemes? And if, for example, a Knicks failure was Kevin Knox. Fizdale decided on Knox when you had both Bridges boys available, when you had Shea Gill. He decided on Kevin Knox based on one workout. And Calipari telling him, this guy's not ready yet. Calipari said that, and he didn't have a motor. That's the big thing what happened with Kevin Knox when Tibbs came on board. Kevin didn't have no motor. Okay? Had length, can shoot, had no motor. And his defensive IQ never developed to what Tibbs needs. We don't want no more Kevin Knoxes. Blessings to Kevin. Hope he does well. But we need guys like Josh Hart. We need guys like Isaiah Hartenstein. We need dogs that can motor. Think about that when you start telling me we need to draft this one or that one. Y'all enjoy your Wednesday. Shalom.